These photos were taken at the First Amendment Free Food Festival at Quinnipiac University, an event that took third place in the campusreform.org Constitution Day event contest. I had a chance to sit down with the president of the Young Americans for Liberty chapter, Matt Sipolowski, to hear a little bit more about his plans for the Quinnipiac University campus. So do you think the students that participated really got the message of what you were trying to...
I do think that it did. I mean, you can always hand somebody a flyer or give them some other kind of handout that gives information and statistics, but a lot of times you just hand it to them and they walk right past you and throw it in the trash. So I think that something like this where you can actually sit them down and if they want to get this free food, then they have to kind of have the point driven into their heads, can go a long way towards finding someone who's kind of apathetic but might agree with your cause.
And do you have any future plans for events to hold on campus now that you all have gained some popularity?
Actually, this November 18th, we're going to be hosting the Public and Legal Advocate for Foundation for Individual Rights and Education, which is a group dedicated to protecting free speech and due process on campus. And it actually plays perfectly into something else that we're doing, which is trying to draft a Declaration of Student Rights to bring to our administration. And this has been really big on campus lately as there was an incident in one of the dorm rooms where security claimed to have smelled marijuana in someone's room, and as a result, a sleeping student was actually thrown from his bed and received head injuries. So this is something that we really feel like we can reach out to the campus right now because it's something that touches everybody's lives.
Have you reached out to that student in particular?
Yes, we have actually, and we signed a letter to the editor from Young Americans for Liberty in the campus newspaper decrying the actions of security in this instance, and we've been talking to this student about what we can do to help him out, but they're kind of in a holding pattern right now because they still have their scheduled court date.
Okay, so they are taking legal measures with the situation?
Well, the school actually, we're not sure what the charges are. It's something like disturbance of the peace that one of the students.
So the students are getting charged,
yeah,
not the security guard.
One student, they found marijuana in the room, so he was charged with that. And another one was sleeping, and a security guard shook, and he struck the security guard, so he was charged with disturbance of the peace, and his court date is coming up in a few days. There's already been a lot of anger at Quinnipiac towards the security force because there have been some incidents where they haven't quite done a good job of keeping students protected. And an incident like this, where not only did they not protect students, but they were actually the danger to those students, has really resonated with our campus. And I think it's something where we could become the face of this issue for the students, and that could really do some good for the Liberty Movement.
And can you go into a little bit more detail about the Declaration of Student Rights? How is it going to benefit students in situations like this?
Well, as a private university, there are a lot of rights that we don't have that the students at a public school might. So what we're trying to do is to work with the administration to show them that while they may have the legal right to restrict some of our freedoms on campus, as Americans, we're not going to stand for it. Like right now, we don't have the right to freedom of assembly on our campus, and there are a lot of other restrictions on free speech that really shouldn't be acceptable in a free society. And in an institution that especially is supposed to be teaching our young Americans that this is unacceptable, and we need to show them that.
Do you suggest having other students across the country start drafting their own student rights?
I think that's part of the reason, in fact, that we started this. We view it not only as an issue on our campus, but as something where we could get the ball rolling and establish something that would be a practice at a lot of private schools across the country.
How are you getting involved in the state of Connecticut? Are you working with other groups or anything like that?
Well, we actually started working with local groups because we wanted to get involved with Connecticut Students Against the War, which is primarily a leftist organization right now, but we figured we would get in touch with the Students for Liberty, the Advocacy for Progressive Thought, all sorts of other groups across the state to bring a more conservative or libertarian approach to the anti-war effort. And now we're also working with the APT on their Guy Fawkes Day, this 5th of November, and I'll be giving a short speech about campus activism and getting your group started.
And do you have any future plans for the YOW group?
We're planning some big things for next semester. I don't want to talk too much about it because who knows if the administration checks whyliberty.com, but keep looking at Quinnipiac, you'll hear some things.
And any word of advice for other fellow student activists on their campuses on how to protect their freedoms?
Well, I think that one thing you have to keep in mind about this is that while a lot of people are going to be telling you to be quiet and that the thing to do is to just talk to the administrators and the security and don't make a lot of waves, a lot of times it takes drawing attention to them and being kind of radical and speaking out to get attention on your campus.